So what is Seqex, Jennifer?
Well, Seqex is a Health Canada approved medical device. It's been in Europe and Italy for about 20 years doing amazing things. It is filled with Tesla-filled coils, and it is an energy medicine sort of healing pad, and it has ion cyclotron resonance in it, which is, it opens your cells for healing. It actually permeates the cell. So ION stands for ion cyclotron resonance, or ICR. And if a cell is open, it can heal. It can release emotions. It can release inflammation. It can release muscle tension. It can release toxins at times too. It depends on what you're doing with it. So the whole idea of Seqex therapy is to open your cells for optimum healing.
Can you tell us about some of the success stories that you've had, Jennifer?
Well, I've had quite a lot in the last 2 years, I have to say. I deal with a lot of people in the older age, as well as, some of the younger ones. I have to say, with the microcirculation card, I've had some people that had some serious injuries. One woman who was burned on the one side of her body and had a lot of scar tissue. Another woman who had surgery to her neck. She was almost paralyzed. The scar tissue was causing issues with their arms and the feelings in their hands. So the microcirculation card actually helped them to feel and to feel movement in their hands.
Wow.
The blood flow. So it was breaking up scar tissue a little bit is what I felt it was doing.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. I've also had a lot of autoimmunity in here. And I know there's a lot of talk about autoimmunity, and we're starting to learn, which we've known all along in my field, it's leaky gut. And leaky gut there's a very fine membrane between your bowel and your bloodstream. And when you crack that based on stress and food, a lot of autoimmunity happens at that point. So what I do with the Seqex is I can regenerate, I put magnets on the people's stomachs, and I use a cell regeneration card to help the cells of the bowel to heal. And I also do consults to help them know what to eat as well.
So could it help with people who have gluten-free problems? I know it's such a big issue.
Yeah. I know people say that they've got, celiacs, or they've got this, and a lot of people may have that, but a lot of it is autoimmunity. If we look at somebody who's got skin issues, I'm going to look at autoimmunity immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a broken bowel probably, and we deal with that a lot. So other things that I've dealt with, with the autoimmunity, I've had people that were in here so swollen their fingers were touching. And I use the inflammation card, and to bring it down, the anti-inflammation card. Cell regeneration I used on that person too. Let me think, some of the other people, a lot of stress. We got a fluctuating economy in Parry Sound. And so after the summer, they're pretty stressed out. And so we've done a lot of bringing them back into balance, which is going to help their sleep, and it's going to help their ability to go to the bathroom. They're not going to be as congested in that area. So I would have to say we use cards for brain, like theta, delta for sleep. We do all kinds of different things for the brain waves to help really calm down a person's sympathetic nervous system, and can help with the panic attacks. Like, it really helps a lot.
Yeah,
does a lot of that.
What other therapies are connected with Seqex?
Well, there's quite a few. There is one called chronosomatics. Okay. There's another called REAM. These deal with traumatic events that have happened in a person that they're holding in either their chakras or in their spine. So I went to Europe and Italy actually in October. I met up with many doctors. I was in class a lot studying with these doctors who've been working with Seqex in the last 20 years. Okay. It was very educational and overwhelming at the same time. I got to see a lot of people's lives change right in front of me. I decided to bring the chronosomatics back to Canada. And the reason why I'm bringing that back is because it's very much spine related, and with my fusions, I really felt that it was something I wanted to deal with. So what chronosomatics is the ability to distinguish a period of time in someone's life that there was a traumatic event that they're still holding in the spinal process.
Wow.
So that causes trigger points. So for instance, I've done 24 people since Halloween, and we're now in January. We've done, unfortunately, incestual cases. I've done a case where a woman was dragged down the street as an 8-year-old and lost partial of her face. House fires. I've done people who have saw traumatic events, car accidents, lost loved ones. I've done a lot of childhood trauma. There's a lot going on there.
And so they hold this trauma in their spine?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so basically I do some tests on them,
Okay.
and I work through a period of time based on 10 years. We work 10 years at a time. And I watch for their breath. I watch their body movement, their direction of walk. I look at their emotions. A lot of people cry, shake their hands, turn different directions. And I write these all down, and then I put all of it into the Seqex medical unit, and it takes all those calculations, and it comes up with a spinal area that I need to treat. And it opens the spine to release that trauma. I retest them almost immediately, and there's very few that don't have an immediate response that is positive, where they don't feel that. And actually, just to tell you of a girl that I did the other day, which kind of was very fascinating to me, when I did the treatment and then we did the walkthrough again, there was some trauma from childhood in there. She actually said to me, I know it's happening, but I'm sitting outside of it now. And I couldn't believe that. It gave me the chills.
Amazing.
It really did. It gave me the chills because she was actually an observer now instead of being in the actual moment. Most people come back in a few days later to 2 weeks, and they tell me that they have a sense of calm. And that's the biggest thing that they notice. So I'm so glad I brought it.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, Sonia, it was divine intervention, I'll have to tell you. I had a feeling I needed to go to the Toronto health show for some reason. I had recently moved into the office here, and I had an empty room that I needed to fill with either a masseuse or something like that. So I had this need to go down to the show, and I went with a friend. And at the very end of the show, we went down the last aisle, and we met up with the Seqex Canada people. They had recently got it approved as a medical device, and they asked me to get on it, and my girlfriend and I got on it. And I have neck issues. I was born with fusions in my neck, and I thought, you know what, I've tried every therapy on the planet, I'm gonna get on it. And immediately I did feel a tingling sensation in my neck. So about a week later, I kept thinking about it. My girlfriend kept saying, you know, you need to get involved with this. I was one of the first practitioners that they had approached in all of Canada, so I was very happy about that. And so within a week I bought one, and now I have 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's been great.
And has it helped with the fusion and the inflammation over time, or was it a shorter period of time?
I can't, immediately when I started using the pad, I noticed it was affecting my neck, and it was going after the area that there was concern. And that's what Seqex will do. It will point out an area of concern. If you didn't know you had a knee issue, and it goes to your knee, you do have a knee issue. So it kept going to my neck, and I kept saying, well, you know what, good luck, you're not gonna fix it. Nobody's ever been able to fix it. I'm 52, it's never happened. And slowly over time, I started noticing that the neck nerve pain was not there anymore. And I used to feel like someone had like a finger stuck in my neck, and I just lived with it. It was just the way that it was. I have 2 sets of spinal fusions, which is very uncommon. I was born that way, and it's gone now. I have absolutely no neck pain.
Where can I find out more information? Do I call you? Do I set up a consultation? Come in?
You can do any of those things. A lot of people walk in the door, they've been inspired to come in for some reason, and we have a nice little chat. I explain to them what the pads do. I show them the pads, I get them put their hands on it so they can feel it. It's been life-changing to me to have this therapy for myself, but it's been even more life-changing to see what I've been able to do for other people. And there's no greater feeling than to help somebody that's been, in pain.
Absolutely.
It's something else. Really proud that I brought it to Parry Sound, and in saying that, we're really lucky to have it here.
We really are.
These kind of therapies, you go to this city for. You don't get to do them here. And that's why I bought more. I usually see 8 to 10 people a day. We become family here. Like, there's a lot of really great communication between people and myself about things that they've gone through, and we've been able to share, and it's been really, really nice.
And there's healing and overcoming challenges that, just in conversation you may not get, but with this device they are getting.
Yeah,
so,
and a lot of people, going back to the chrono, they don't realize sometimes they have these triggers. Like people who see a fire truck go by and they don't know why they're having a panic attack, but they've been in a house fire themselves, or they've had somebody that they lost in a house fire. And you don't have to have those triggers. we can get rid of those, and we can get rid of a lot of your pain too. There's no reason to suffer. It really isn't when you have these kind of therapies here.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, so informative. Thank you. What types of people have you treated?
Well, I have treated, I would have to say that about a third of my clients here are coming for osteoarticular issues, so knee issues, spinal issues, and so forth. Another third would be probably stress, childhood trauma sort of related issues where they need to relax their sympathetic nervous system. And another third would be Crohn's, colitis, autoimmunity, leaky gut, basically those kind of treatments. But I've done so many others as well.
What about inflammation or, osteoporosis?
Well, inflammation is it's an easy one to fix because Seqex is extremely good at bringing down inflammation. I've done a lot of inflammation issues with people. The osteoarthritis, it's very good at pain. We've got pain cards, so they're really good at reducing pain, reducing the inflammation. Sometimes I put people on what is called cell regeneration to try to regenerate some of the damage in maybe a surgical area of that as well. So, yeah.
Okay. And I've heard, now I don't really know much about this, but I have heard that it can help children with autism. Well, is this something that is true? I mean, that would be incredible if a nonverbal child became verbal.
In Italy, they are doing a lot of work with that right now. Health Canada, we have to go with what Health Canada approved it for. I was in Italy recently and I got to see some of the effects of Seqex with some of these cases, like you're saying. But again, until Health Canada approves it, we're going to just stick with what we know. But I think that's something in the future that we can maybe hope for.
But in Italy, this same machine is helping children with
they're doing all kinds of different works with people.
Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
It gives you the chills thinking about it.
And what about ALS or Parkinson's these are big things, but I do know people that have these diseases, and if they could send them to Italy, that would be something to think about, right? I mean, if it's approved there but not here, is it possible?
When you look at it, we're dealing with a cell. And if we are looking at regenerating a cell or helping a cell to have less inflammation, to be able to communicate better, there's a whole host of things that could happen because of that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could say anything at all about Seqex that you want people to know, what would it be?
Wow. I say the biggest thing is it grounds you. And in the environment that we live in today, with all Wi-Fi towers, cell phone towers, no one's being grounded. And unfortunately, our blood is getting very thick and very coagulated due to that. So it grounds you, it moves your cells, moves your blood. Well, actually moves your blood more than your cells. And what it does is it balances, and this is my opinion because I've seen this with clients, your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, freeze, and it brings it down to a more parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest. Okay. So your rest and digest will not work when sympathetic is elevated. And so again, that's stress and so forth.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay. What is a personalized test?
So a personalized test, this is something I've been able to do for people in the last year because I have purchased the Seqex medical unit. And that medical unit allows me to put electrodes on the person's body, and the machine reads the person's body, and the machine goes back to the computer, and it gives me a personalized card to treat you with.
Okay.
So what's really good about that is sometimes when we don't know what's wrong with somebody, it can really pinpoint more of an issue and lets us to rule out other things. So Sonia's on the bed right now, and this is the actual Seqex HC model. And I'm going to put her on microcirculation because I want you to be able to hear what it sounds like. So if Sonia had, let's say, an issue with maybe her neck, this card here, there's cards that I put in. I have so many different treatments, and I can do many different combinations of those treatments. I have magnets to intensify, and I also have a probe. And the probe gives me 100% of the pad in any place that I want to treat it. So if I wanted to treat maybe her adrenals, I might probe right into this area. If she had maybe a neck issue, I might probe right into the neck area and help the vertebrae that's in there. This is actually what it sounds like when it's on. Now, I don't leave this on so you can relax, but this is microcirculation. And it's a wave on, wave off, wave on, wave off is what it's doing, and opening the cells. So for instance, I might want to put magnets under her shoulders to decrease inflammation or pain. She might have an issue with her knee, and do the same thing with the knee. And again, we can also use the probe for whatever I want to use that for as well.
And what if there were bowel issues at all? Like, what would we do there?
Bowel
like
issues?
Inflammation, or you had spoken about
leaky gut.
Leaky
I
gut.
absolutely use the magnets on leaky gut. I would put this on the bowel area. Use the cell regeneration card to heal those cells, and to heal up that thin lining that's causing all the problems. Okay, so this is our Seqex medical unit. This unit allows for the programming of a person's body for personalized treatment, and then they get their own personalized card that we use when they actually come in. So I have the electrodes, and the electrodes are put on the feet and hands. The machine actually talks to the bed, and it comes up with some information that allows me to decide what kind of treatment they need, and also it gives me values and feedback on what they actually should use.